everybody, and a warm welcome from here in the UK. My name is Daniel Evans. I am delighted to be here today talking with you all. The title of this talk is Global Britain, Opportunities for Business in the New Post-Brexit United Kingdom. Something I'm deeply passionate about and really excited to share this with you here today. A little bit about me to start off with. As I said, my name is Daniel Evans and I'm Chief Executive Officer at an organisation called Birmingham Enterprise Community. I'm also the Programme Director for Forward Accelerator, which is a global accelerator programme helping businesses around the world to build global businesses here from the UK. I did an MSc in Entrepreneurship at Aston University and was also featured in the Social Entrepreneurs Index of top social entrepreneurs here in the UK last year. So, in terms of this concept of Global Britain, really going to look through today some of the key elements why both we at Birmingham Enterprise Community, but also me personally, feels that this is a really exciting country to base any global business. Going through some of the reasons why that is. I'm also going to look on a more of a regional basis, so not just the kind of whole UK picture, but about where we are here and why actually I think that there is an opportunity for something really special in this region. I'm going to get this picture out of the way very quickly because sometimes when we talk about Global Britain, this is the picture that's thrown up. Prime Minister Boris Johnson, way back when he was Mayor of London, getting stuck on a zip wire, doing a bit of flag waving, doing his part. But for me, when I think about Global Britain, this is what I think about. I think about the entrepreneurs, the enterprises, some of the bold innovations happening in this country, both from entrepreneurs that were originally from here, but entrepreneurs all across the world who have chosen to make United Kingdom their home. These are photos actually taken from a range of events that we run. So here at Birmingham Enterprise Community and the Forward Accelerator, as I said, we support businesses right across the spectrum, across multiple industries, to be building ventures, to be having impact across the world. Just a bit of a selection of some of the different things that we've been up to. And really some of this that I'm going to talk to you about today is not just information that kind of has been gathered together, but really information that has been put together based on our experience. We've been doing this for a while now and have helped a number of businesses to really establish a presence here in the UK, either for access to the market or to use the UK as their global headquarters. So I'm speaking here from real experience of helping businesses to establish in the UK and use this as their global base. So I'm going to cover 4 key areas in terms of why I think that Global Britain makes a great place for anybody to establish the base for their business. Firstly is world-class R&D expertise and talent. I think that this is something that there's a huge selling point here in the UK. We are recognised third in the world for the quality of the talent that we have here. And actually, when we look at global talent, we are ranked #1. Levels of people with university education or higher, extremely high. The quality of that education as well. With 4 of the top 10 universities in the world, the standard is there. Across the other universities as well, there's a certain level that they all reach. So I think from a talent perspective, what we see is extremely high. That's then backed up with some of the talent that's imported, whether that's scientists, academics, people with technical expertise, entrepreneurs themselves. We do a fantastic job of bringing them here to the UK, and with some of the other things included in here, you'll see why they come here. We also boast 78 science winners of the Nobel Prize. The only country higher than us is the US, but a real track record of producing people at the top of their field across multiple scientific disciplines. And this is backed up by a world-class regime in intellectual property. So intellectual property protection and mechanisms are some of the most robust in the world, and it is a standard that is recognised across the world as well. In addition to this as well, we've got some fantastic tax incentives for holding intellectual property here through something called the Patent Box Scheme, which actually allows businesses to drive corporate tax down to about 10% for revenue generated across that intellectual property that's held in the UK. The next area, which I think is super important, and this I think causes a lot of surprises for businesses that we work with looking at the UK, is the levels of government support and incentive. For successive governments now, they've realised the importance of the kind of innovation, the startup ecosystem and the entrepreneurship to the UK globally. We've got a long track record of doing this, and there's a great range of government support that you won't find elsewhere in the world here to do this. So we have one of the lowest corporate tax rates in the G20. That is currently at around 19–20%, due to rise slightly in a few years' time, but even then will be highly competitive and still lower than most in the G20, which is a collection of some of the biggest economies in the world. As I said, that even goes down to 10% when you look at things like patent box systems. For research and development, also, the UK government provide some fantastic incentives for businesses to conduct research and development opportunities here, with tax relief of up to 230%, which is absolutely huge and something that is used to great effect here in the UK. From a venture capital and raising finance perspective, we've also got multiple schemes here. So schemes like the SEIS, EIS, SITR, which is a specialist scheme for social enterprises, but the first two being the main ones, are schemes that are specifically in place to help businesses to raise equity finance. And what these schemes do is they provide investors with tax relief of up to 50% for those investments. To give you an indication of the scale of impact that has, that those schemes have, through using those schemes alone, businesses are 3 times more likely to receive investment. Now, we know that raising equity investment is very difficult across the board for businesses, for startups, for scale-ups. However, with these schemes in place, it gives added incentives and added assurance to investors putting their money into these businesses. Finally, from a government support perspective, some of the initiatives that are fully funded by the UK government for UK-based businesses, and this counts businesses that relocate and then adopt the UK as a home, is absolutely huge. From research and development projects with universities, and we've had businesses come through us that have had kind of a lot of product development, product testing, R&D activities, where they have not had to pay a penny. It's all been funded through government support. We've had people get intellectual property support fully funded through government support. Currently here in the UK, to kind of help the economy post-COVID, the government are actually helping people to employ young people where they're covering the cost of their wages for 6 months. And that's for kind of multiple employees. That is something that's going to keep growing. That is something that is always developing, new schemes coming out. The level of government support for businesses here is one of the highest in the world. Another key point here, and I think that this is one that a lot of the businesses we've worked with here have told us is key, especially when they start to then access other markets around the world, is global recognition and the reputation of the United Kingdom. From a reputation and credibility point of view, we've seen this essential in both customer-facing relationships, but also in relationships with potential investors, also in relationships with potential partners as well. Being a UK registered business or a UK based business gives people a level of certainty and a level of trust that they're sometimes not found in other countries. Some of the businesses that have used this most effectively are businesses from places like Latin America, from parts of Africa, from places like India as well, where sometimes, especially when they've engaged with European partners or European investors, they've found that very difficult and a bit of uncertainty. Whereas once they've moved to the UK, they've established a presence here, they're then kind of officially a UK-based company, they've been able to get through some of those barriers. Secondly, the legal system. So again, an internationally recognized legal system, and one which many global countries have based their legal system on the legal system here in the UK. So a lot of recognizable mechanisms and procedures through that. Stability and security is a big one. in relative terms, this is one of the oldest democracies in the world, and is a very stable country by many, many measures. And then finally on this point is that diplomatic influence. So through even kind of post-Brexit, we still maintain close relationships with countries in Europe. We have kind of the Commonwealth and all the relationship building there, and obviously key relationships with still some of the biggest economies in the world. So the United Kingdom is very much still a global player in this sense. Finally, in this section is the ease of doing business. And again, a lot of surprises here from people that maybe don't experience this in their own country or other countries have explored. But actually conducting business here in the UK is very simple. Business registration, to register a business in the United Kingdom, takes less than 24 hours. So when you register that business with the government, that can be as quick as 30 minutes to have the full registration done. We know of different countries where that can take weeks, even months to get done. The beauty of that as well is if you're in the process of moving across and you're not even physically here yet, you can still get that done. Secondly, along with that is the cost of that. £12, 12 British pounds is all it costs to register a business in the UK. Again, there are different countries in the world where that cost is within the thousands of pounds. But to register an entity, a legal business up here, takes less than 24 hours, doesn't require you to be in the UK, can be done completely online and costs just £12. Secondly, cost of actually starting the business in a wider sense, again, is relatively low. Other than your £12, the ongoing maintenance of that only then pertains to your annual registered accounts, where again, there's a small administrative fee when you submit them of your confirmation statement of around £12, £13. But that is it. Again, as we said, corporate tax and other types of tax in the UK, incredibly competitive when we look at the global stage. Friendliness. So I've included this one in here because I think this is super important. Actually, Forbes did some research around the friendliest business ecosystems in Europe, and actually found that the UK was one of the most friendly. And this is something our businesses tell us time and time again. When they arrive here in the UK, they're shocked by how welcoming everybody is to them. People are excited to see them here. They're excited to work with them. They love the fact that the entrepreneurs from across the world are choosing the UK as a home. And what we find on a kind of local level as well, where people enter the UK and establish here from other parts of the world, people are incredibly receptive to talking about partnerships, about booking meetings, even about giving advice. We have an extremely good culture here in the UK where businesses will give each other advice, will share tips, will share knowledge. That is something that's widely done here in the UK. And then finally here is the connectivity. So one of the top 10 in the world on network readiness, both digitally and physically. And looking at some of the facts here, so we have one of the most advanced broadband networks across the whole of Europe. So digital connectivity is so important here in the UK, and a lot of investment has been put in here. Secondly, with 5G, something I'm going to mention a little bit later, but we are really storming ahead with proper 5G, commercial 5G rollout, putting that in a range of situations and are leading again once on that. From a physical point of view, again, the UK from an infrastructure point of view already has a fantastic rail network of roads, but there's even more being done and there's even more money being put in there. I'm going to mention HS2 a little bit later, but again, we're putting a lot of investment into transport infrastructure, and not only transport infrastructure, but green and sustainable transport infrastructure, again, driving innovation and showing the world the future of mobility. I said right at the start, I want to talk a bit about a regional focus here. A lot of the times externally when businesses look at the United Kingdom, we think about London. London being a startup capital of Europe, being one of the major cities across the world, it's easy to see why London gets a lot of attention. However, I'm here to argue that actually there is somewhere else you could go where you can still get all the benefits of London, but access a whole world of opportunities that you wouldn't get whilst in London. That place is here in Birmingham. So obviously at this point, important to say, we at Birmingham Enterprise Community are an independent organisation. We're not part of the UK government. We're not part of any local government. We're not part of any public body. We have chosen this location and we operate here because we believe that this is one of the best places in the world to grow a global business from. We wholeheartedly believe that. And I want to tell you a little bit about why I think Birmingham in particular in the UK and the West Midlands region, which is that kind of wider region it's part of, so cities like Coventry, cities like Wolverhampton, could potentially be a fantastic home for your business as you look to go out on the global stage. Firstly, in terms of opportunities, there is a whole wealth of opportunities across this region right now and coming up that I think you should be aware of. Commonwealth Games 2022 is just around the corner for Birmingham. Lots of opportunities, and Birmingham will be very much thrust onto the global stage as part of this. Again, with HS2, so high-speed rail 2, investment in infrastructure, investment in transport, a lot of innovation happening around this for the transport of tomorrow, building green, sustainable transport and really taking this country forward. Battery technology is an important one here. So West Midlands Mayor Andy Street is really pushing for this, and we're potentially going to be home to a new gigafactory that's going to bring £2 billion worth of investment into a battery technology cluster. Around this, we've got some of the largest players in the game around that. So people like BMW, people like Jaguar, people like Aston Martin, Lotus, all around this battery technology cluster, and will become a world-leading hub in battery-related technology. Very important, again, sustainability, low carbon, and the transport of the future. Also, along with this, our 5G testbed. So again, we're leading the way in the UK and in the world on 5G technologies and their applications in commercial settings, which is a complete game changer. A lot of money and a lot of innovation going into this. This is just some of the opportunities available here. I've not even mentioned the huge gaming cluster that we have in the region, the huge creative sector that's here in the region and seeing multi-million pounds investment being put into it. We've just had a new life science park that's being built in Birmingham. And again, Birmingham will be leading the way in terms of health technologies with some of the leading hospitals in health innovation, but some of the leading universities too. Culturally, very significant here. Again, Birmingham leads in terms of culture. Top left-hand corner here, Birmingham Royal Ballet, one of the best ballet companies in the whole world. This, again, is not just the ballet company here, but also the Birmingham Hippodrome Theatre, one of the busiest theatres outside of London here in the UK, multiple music venues. So we look across here, Symphony Hall. Symphony Hall Birmingham is considered one of the top 5 music and concert halls across the world. Sports on another level in Birmingham, Aston Villa Football Club here, but also several Premier League sides based here in the Midlands as well as multiple other sports. As I said, Commonwealth Games around the corner, and also things like the home of British athletics. So huge sporting culture here as well. Finally, the bottom right-hand corner, this is a photo taken celebrating Chinese New Year. Birmingham is one of the most diverse cities in Europe, one of the youngest cities in Europe as well. We, as a city, are extremely welcoming of people from different cultures, from different countries. You can really see it in the way that the city comes out, the way the city celebrates, and everything that's going on. When I say that this is a welcoming city, it's something I really mean. Connectivity. So, like I mentioned at the start of this point, I think that you can be based in Birmingham and still access all the good stuff and all the benefits of being in London without the downsides. We are super connected to London, but also super connected to all the other UK major cities, both at a local level, a lot of cross-city connection, especially through the new Midlands Metro, which is seeing multi-million pounds investment. High-speed rail, as I said as well, increasing that connection to the capital and beyond. We have a major international airport that allows you to get to most of the kind of super cities across the world, multiple flights from a lot of different locations. New Street Station, central terminus for the whole of UK Rail. So again, from New Street, from Birmingham, you can reach most of the major cities through the rail network. Same for the roads, it's the heart of the UK road network infrastructure. Cost is an important factor here as well. One of the kind of huge negatives with with London, like any major city, comes down to costs and the cost of running your business there. Again, Birmingham, you can have that access to London, you can have the expertise and the talent and all the innovation that comes along with it, but much lower costs, both in terms of running your business, but also in terms of living costs as well. This is hugely beneficial and really, again, is a decisive factor on where people locate the businesses. We're seeing a lot more people locate their businesses here in Birmingham for this exact reason. They can still get global talent, global expertise, and innovation without those high costs. Birmingham, for 7 years running now, has been named as startup capital in the United Kingdom. More startups last year than anywhere else apart from London. And when we look per capita, some years we even surpass London. Tech investment of £320 million across a range of stages as well, and over 30 incubator and accelerator programs. Again, an abundance of support for any businesses at any level coming into this city, coming into this region. There's support there, and we see the businesses benefit from it so much. This is nothing new. This is nothing new. I think it's really important to stress here. Actually, Birmingham has a huge heritage of entrepreneurship. It is the home of the Industrial Revolution. These guys here, so Matthew Bolton, James Watt, William Murdoch, so the real fathers of the Industrial Revolution, inventors. We've seen here in Birmingham more patents registered here in Birmingham than anywhere else in the UK. It was also the home of the Lunar Society, where some of the top inventors and thinkers across the whole world came here and gathered in Birmingham to really kick off this revolution. And as I said, this continues through to today with some of the most exciting entrepreneurs in the UK based here in the city and region. On the left here, we have Ben Francis, founder of Gymshark, fastest growing business in the history of the West Midlands, one of the fastest growing businesses in the UK for several years running now, have just passed the £1 billion valuation mark. And absolutely credit to this region as somebody that was born and raised in this region. On the other side, equally incredibly, with Nourished and Melissa, bringing it back, obviously, this whole kind of relocation. So Melissa was originally from the United States, came to the UK, saw the potential of Birmingham as a home for a business, and now is doing fantastic things there within her space. Again, showing that there's this next generation of entrepreneurs across Birmingham that are really leading the way. So to wrap up, I just want to point to some really important factors. Wherever you're considering to base your business, whether that's Birmingham, whether that's London, whether it's another city, some of the things that you really need to think about in terms of what support you need for soft landing. Firstly, it's that local knowledge. It's people that understand the way that the market works locally. They understand local customs, local practices, local regulation. Secondly, is access to market. Can they get you in front of the right people that are potential partners, suppliers, customers? Really essential. Access to resourcing, especially here, talent and also finance. Can these people help you with that? And finally, community. Will you have a community of people that are there on the ground to support you during that relocation and during the eventual growth of your business in that new home? So a few resources to leave you with something very practical here on how you can look further on the UK and further for soft landing support on just those factors that I explained. So great organisation, Tech Nation, which really looks at tech across the whole UK, something I'd definitely check out. The Department for International Trade run their Global Entrepreneurship Programme, which is a support programme for entrepreneurs looking to relocate to the UK. Plenty of news resources here as well to give you a sense of what's going on in the UK market and be able to track its developments. So resources like Maddiness and several of the others mentioned here. Accelerator programs. So again, lots of programs that will offer that support, such as our Forward Accelerator program, which has offered multiple international businesses that soft landing support to access the UK markets and be able to do the things mentioned in the previous slide. And then finally, regional support. So looking at local government support, such as West Midlands Growth Company that we have here in Birmingham, that allows people to support when entering that new market. That is all from me today. It's been a pleasure to join you all here. Any more information, we've obviously got a Q&A session now. You can also contact me on these details. I'll be happy to give any further thoughts. Thank you for listening.